Hello, my name is Dr. Terry Schrader, and I am one of the edTPA coaches for Alliant International University. This video here is for our Ed Specialist candidates who are pursuing their credentials and need to take the edTPA for California. This first video here is a general overview about the whole entire process. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen using the correct handbook so you have an idea of what you should be looking for as you read your handbook. So as I said, this is for the this is the edTPA for special education for California. And that is essential because for California, there are some different requirements than the national assessment for other Ed Specialist candidates. And so the first thing I want to do is kind of talk about the overall process. So there are 3 tasks in your edTPA, and the first task is the planning. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be planning 3 to 5 connected lessons that support one of the academic goals from one of your focus learners, one of your special education students. And what you're going to be doing is planning lessons for them to build mastery towards that goal. The second task is the actual instruction that goes along with your lessons that you designed. And then the third part here is the assessment. And when you design your lessons, you're also going to design assessments that track progress towards that learning goal. And you will have some things that you'll need to turn in and some feedback that you'll need to be able to provide to your focus learner. So what I'm going to do here is when we take a look at our edTPA handbook, the first thing here is we do have the table of contents. And the first couple pages is the introduction. And then it really dives into task 1, task 2, and task 3, which will be in some other videos. And so this is just the general overview. And then what's really great about each of the tasks, they do have the rubrics embedded right directly in there. So that way, when you're working on one of the particular tasks, you can bring this part of the handbook up. We do recommend that you print out the handbook and you highlight and make notes in there. It just makes the process so much easier as you are going through. So here is just the purpose of why we are doing the edTPA for Ed Specialist for California. And really, basically, what it is that you are demonstrating your proficiency to be a special education teacher in California. We already talked about the 3 different tasks: planning, instructing, and assessing. And here are some of the things that you will need to consider when you are picking that learning goal. What's best is to pick one of the learning goals from that child's IEP. If they do not have an academic IEP, you may want to select somebody else. If you don't have anybody that has that, then you are going to pick something that is related to academic content in literacy and math, science, social studies, whatever works best for that. Once you've identified your learner and your learning goals, you're going to do that through those 3 to 5 lessons, known as the learning segments. And each lesson will have that objective and a specific assessment that you're going to use to track progress towards that learning goal. You're going to record all of your lessons that you do with that particular child. And then in the end, you will then provide feedback based off of their progress towards that learning goal. And that, in a nutshell, is really just the overview of the edTPA for Ed Specialists for California. Thank you for joining me.